Sir, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, please make the class interactive for me now. Don't let me just be here. Make it interactive. Give me feedback. I didn't know that my microphone was muted. I was disconnected at some point. And I've been talking, actually. I've been talking. I didn't know that I was muted. So please make the class interactive for me. Don't just be there. Say maybe your screen is just on and you're doing something else. But if you are connected and we're in the same class, so make it lively. You get. Okay, so or maybe we should just turn on our video. At least we should turn on our video. I know that everybody we're on the same page. Okay, so really, as I was saying, this is how to start. This is how to start HDFS. This is the command to start HDFS. It's already started. I'm running the command again. I'm seeing whether it's going to give any error message to indicate that it's already started. So yes, it's saying, so there's some error message that it's coming. Okay, it's saying that for me to start it, I need to stop it first. Name node is running as process ID 7597. Stop it first before I can start it again. Data node is running as 7716. Stop it first before I can start it again. There's a secondary node that is secondary name node. There's a secondary name node. So I want to ask a question, Mary. Mary, why do we need a secondary name node? So there's a primary name node. So you can see starting name node on localhost. Then there's a secondary name node. Why do you think a secondary name node is necessary?
I think it's necessary as a backup. That's where they save another copy of the data.
Okay. So that's why you have another copy of the, so I think that makes sense. If a name node crashes, that means the whole Hadoop framework will completely not be able. So in order to be able to there is a backup or there is a primary node. So you can see that there's a secondary name node and there's a primary name node that are also there.
Blessing, your audio is very bad.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very bad.
Yeah, we can't even hear.
So that means you're not hearing me. What can I do? What can I do to make it better? I don't know, but it's not even showing. It's not indicating that the network is bad on my screen. It's not. It's the same network I used yesterday that I'm using today. Okay, so maybe is it okay now? Let me see. If I can switch to another network, if you think it's bad. If it's bad again, please let me know so that I'll just switch to another network. I have another network around me.
Okay.
Okay, so but there are some errors. You see some fun. So I want you guys to try it. Try it at home. I want you to just run that simple command and let me see. Is it running or you are getting some error messages? You run it at home. Let's see what it is for you.
Question: you keep it on that desktop directory because the desktop thing. Did you create the desktop?
I did not create this. The desktop is always there by default now.
Okay, maybe let me try it with that because I actually tried to get my desktop, but it's telling me that it does not exist. Let me try it.
Okay. Who else is trying this? Ayola, are you trying it?
Okay, so I tried this yesterday and then I got this error initially. So what I think happened was because the instance was running somewhere else. So I wasn't on, because I was doing the other task on the other on another folder, not desktop. So I had run it, and then I didn't stop it. So when I came back to run it here, it was telling me it was running somewhere else. So I had to stop it first before if I was able to run it successfully. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, so once you start, so it's like Oracle for it's like almost every application. Once an application is running on your PC, if you want to start it, it's unlikely that you need to start it again, because if it's running, that means anything you want to do, just go ahead and continue doing what you want to do. If it shows that error message, you don't necessarily need to stop it and start it. You don't need to stop it and start it again. Just continue doing whatever you need to do. What it simply means is that what you are trying to start is already started. So just continue with the next thing that you might likely want to do. Local / Hadoop / so that's what they call setting environmental variable. That's what they call setting environmental variable. How do I explain that in a way that you guys can easily grab? So when you set environmental variable, I'm thinking, okay, so I'll find another way of explaining it. I'll find another way of explaining it. I cannot really feel. With what we do, we also do it in Windows at times. In Windows at times, there's a place that they call, you go to advanced settings and you set a path, you set an environment variable. What that means is that there are some commands that you want to run, but by default, your computer cannot recognize those commands. And why it cannot recognize those commands is that the computer cannot relate with the location where it will find those commands, because commands are simply applications that are on your computer. There are some applications that are on your computer. So when you say VI, for instance, or when you say PWD, all of these, they are commands, and those commands they are saved in a particular location. So when the environment variable is set to that location, then the computer can go to those locations and search for anything that has PWD and then execute it. But if the environment variable is not set, then it will now start telling you, it start giving you error messages like unable to load native Hadoop library for your platform using built-in Java class where applicable. So at times when you start getting some of this error, that means it's trying to set some path, or it's trying to locate the path where you have your Hadoop packages installed. So the manner is telling us that when you get this error, one way to overcome it is to just specify to your computer that the library path to Hadoop operations, the location where you find it is /usr/user/local/Hadoop/library/native. So this is the folder that contains all the native library to your Hadoop on your local machine. It's very simple. But if we encounter any error, at times when you encounter some errors, when you are working in command prompt like this, when you encounter some errors, what it could mean is that when you see something like unable to load library or unable to find built-in command, or it does not recognize command, whenever it gives you some of those kind of error messages, just know that the fact is that the path is not properly set. So you need to find what command you need to run to set that environmental variable or environment variable. To stop Hadoop, it's simple. The command to stop it is stop. Is just stop. So this is it. When you run this command, it stops it. And most times it's also good you stop it using a command. Don't just shut down your PC. And without shutting down properly. Those are some of the things that crash computers or that crash applications when they are not properly shut down. So when you want to shut it down, You click the command and you shut it down. The same in Oracle. In Oracle too has a shutdown command. It has a start command. But most times our Oracle databases are always on. So we don't need to run any command to shut it down or to start it. But simply that is the command to stop HDFS, and this is the command to start HDFS. So we are done with that. Please, if you have any question or if you are having any challenge, put it on the table, let all of us see it together, and then let's discuss the challenge you are having together. So next, we are going to be talking about various file systems. So some of those things that we did yesterday on HDFS, remember, it's a file system. How do I create a HDFS directory? How do I move a file into a HDFS directory? How do I copy file from a HDFS directory to a local directory? So how do I do all of that? Those are the next set of commands that we are going to be running now. So I'm starting HDFS again, and it's coming up. So once it's done, you see a prompt that shows that it is completed. So the first command that we are going to be running is a command to copy file from a local directory. Yesterday on my desktop, I created, okay, today ls. Okay, clear, ls. So today I created month.csv. So here is month.csv. Today I created month.csv. Yesterday I created independence. So now I want to move this month.csv into independence. First of all, in Linux, not HDFS now, in Linux. So to move this into Linux, how to do that is simply, someone should tell me what to do. Someone should echo what I should do. Ayola. I've done it. So, okay, so somebody should explain what I have done. I need someone to explain. So Petra, can you explain what I have done? Temilade, please explain what I have done. I've not mentioned your name. I just have this feeling that you are not on the call. Temilade, please explain what I have done.
I'm here.
Explain what I have done.
So you have copied months.csv from desktop. I have changed the directory. Then the next line is change the directory to desktop/independence. I can't remember what ls is for.
Okay, ls will list all the files that you have in a directory. It's a listing of all the files you have in a directory. So if I go to desktop, for instance, and I want to see, okay, what are the files I have on this desktop? So here is it, ls-l will list all the files. These are all the files that I have on my desktop. These are all of them. Then the next thing I did was to copy cp month.csv. So I copied this month.csv. I copied it into this folder. This is a folder. You can see the folders are blue color. So I copied this file into this folder. That is what I did by running this command. Then I now navigated again into independence folder, cd independence. Then I now listed again, what are the files or folder I have in independence? Here are they, here are the files and the folder. So yeah, that is the first step. So I think the next thing we want to do is let's first of all look at the listing of HDFS command. So on HDFS, the same way I did a listing, here is a listing of what I have in independence. Here's a list of what I have in independence. The same way, I want to do a listing of what I have in the Hadoop file system. There's a difference between Hadoop file system and my computer's file system. This is PWD. It's like, so this is showing me my present working directory, and this is like my file system. There's a slash, in slash there is home, under home there's HD user, under HD user there is desktop, under desktop there's independence. Also in Hadoop, there's also a file system in Hadoop. So to check out the file system in Hadoop, the command to run is hdfs dfs dfs minus ls, then slash. I need someone to explain what this command is doing. I need someone to explain what this command. One sentence can simply explain it. One sentence can explain what this command is doing. What is, okay, so in other words, what is the meaning of slash in this command? What is the meaning of that last slash in this command? I'll call somebody's name. It's simple. This
I know this. Sorry. I know the line is okay. Is to list all the files inside the directory independence.
No, you did not get it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's yes. So yes, it's to list all the files. Yes, it's to list all the files, but list all the files that are where. 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 Now,
in the folder independence.
So no, it's not in the folder independence. This slash is the root directory. It's like your C drive. So on your computer, on your computer now, your Windows computer, there's a root directory. The root directory is your C drive. Or for instance, if I gave you a hard disk drive and I say copy a movie, I ask you where should I put that movie? And I say put the movie on the root directory of the hard drive. I gave you a hard drive and I say put the movie on the root directory of the hard drive. It means don't create any folder inside it. On that E colons itself. On the home directory itself, that's where you should put the file that I want you to copy, you know. So this slash here is the root directory of HDFS. This is the root directory of HDFS. So if I do this, could not load the main class DFS minus L. No, I think there's a space, sorry. Yeah, so here's it. Somebody should explain the result. Hold on, I'm going to call Ayola. Explain this result to me. Explain this result to me, Ayola. I've not called you today. I've not even heard your voice today, even though you spoke before. Ayola, please explain this result to me. Okay, Ayola is not there. I know Petra is there, but before I call Petra, let me call Mary. Mary, please explain this result to me. Okay, oh yeah, now explain the results to me.
I think okay, so okay.
Go on, please.
This I like the file that have been listed from the root directory into the independence folder.
Root directory of what?
of the system. That's the desktop.
No. This is the, okay, so there are two. So this is a root, this slash. That's why I asked you, what does this slash, what does it mean? In this command, this slash, in this command, this slash is the root directory of the Hadoop file system. Let me run the same command for my computer. Let me run this same command. Clear. I'll run two different commands and you will see the difference. So I want to run ls slash or clear. Let me run ls minus l slash. This ls minus l slash, look at it. On my computer, on this computer that I'm using to project now, on this computer that I'm using to project, on the root directory, these are all the folders and the files that are on the root directory. Okay, hold on. Let me go to Windows so that this will make it clearer. Let me come to Windows. Here, my PC. Here is C drive. These are my root directory. So in Windows environment, this, if I do like ls, that ls for instance, if I do the alternative of that ls, the alternative of ls is dir cmd. So here is Windows command prompt. You can see Windows command prompt. Is it up? cmd. Where is it? Yeah. So here is Windows command prompt. cd cd . So this is my root drive. Here is my root directory. You can see if I do cd . It will not move backward again. It will not move further, because I'm at the root directory. This is the root. I cannot go beyond the root. If I do dir is the equivalence of dir is the equivalence of ls in Linux. So this is listing all the directories. It's listing all the directories that I have in my Windows computer. Now I'm going back to Linux. So here is Linux. In Linux environment, I do cd ... It moves back. Clear. I did cd ... It moves back. I do cd ... It moves back to slash. Okay, so let me go to the /home /hd user /desktop /independence. So now I've navigated several files ahead. So I want to move backward until I get to the root directory, and to do that, cd ... just like I did in Windows, cd ... cd ... Now you can see I'm on the root directory. Look at it here. I'm on root directory. If I do cd ... this will not change again. It will not change. It will just remain there. cd ... It will not change. But when I was under independence, when I did cd ... it went to desktop. When I did it on desktop, it went to /home /hd user. When I did it on /home /hd user, I went to /home. When I did it on /home, it went to /. When I did it on /, it was not going anywhere. That means this is the root directory. The same way you have this root directory in Windows and you have it in Linux, the same way you also have it in Hadoop. And to list the root directory for Hadoop, this is the command. To list the root directory for Hadoop. So here is it. It's listing it. So now you can see this is the root directory for Hadoop. You can see. Is that clear?
Yes, it's far clearer than before.
Thank you. So so if you also want to check maybe subdirectories. There could be subdirectories. So let's look at a folder. Let's look at this command lab folder. Let's see what's inside command lab folder slash. Okay, so it's not directly. So if it was before, I just don't cd slash command lab. I just don't cd slash command lab. But you cannot just do that now. You cannot just do like cd slash command lab. You know, if you want to check what is in that folder, to list what is in. If you want to list what is in this folder, slash command lab folder, the command is ls minus r slash command lab. So this is going to list what you have in this folder and and the subfolders that are inside it. So here is it. So with this command now, there is for this command for this file, for this folder command lab, there is directory 1. Inside directory 1 there is blessing. Inside blessing there is backup.tar. Inside blessing there is backup.tst. there is dasca.csv. These are all the different files that are in this directory. Then there is directory 2 and there is also directory 3. So this is a listing of all the files. You can also do the same for what is it called? You can do this.
Blessing, I can't hear you.
I'll do that now. Are we together?
Okay, at some point we're not together.
Yeah, I didn't hear you at some point.
Now it's connected.
My network is bad now. It's not very good. Switch.
Yes.
Okay, let me switch. Okay, so let's hope it gets better now. Does it sound better?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now the difference between this and Linux command. So Linux command, if you have a command you want to run, you just run that command directory. If you want to run man, if you want to run cat, maybe a particular file, for instance, home / hd user / whatever. / home hd user, then what else? Say desktop, then independence, then say we created a list month.csv. So you just run it. But if you want to do this for Hadoop, remember you need to always insert the hdfs, dfs, then hdfs, then the command that you want to execute. You know, don't forget that is the syntax: hdfs, dfs, then the command that you want to execute. So let's start by making directory. So let's make a Hadoop directory. So the directory we want to make. So let's just call it. We want to make a directory for yesterday. We created a directory for year 2020. So let's make a directory again for that same year 2020. Now we are making it on Hadoop file system, and we are going to be creating that directory on the root directory of Hadoop. You know, on the root directory of Hadoop. That's why we are going to be making that. So how to make that is minus the command for making directory is mkdir, and yesterday we created year 2020, so it's going to be year 2020, for instance. So this is how to make directory. So this directory is not going to be created on the root directory of the Linux environment, but on the root directory of your Hadoop file system. So here is it. It's created. So yeah, it's getting created. So also yesterday, okay, so if you do a listing, as we did earlier on, if you do a listing of what you have on the root directory, you see year 2020 as a directory now, or as a folder on that file system. So here's it, year 2020. Now, say you want to now create subfolders. You want to create subfolders, like you want to create January 2020, then week 1, then day 1, you know. So if you want to make that directory, subdirectories inside year 2020, you do the same way I did yesterday. The only difference now is that it's now HDFS/DFS. So make directory minus P slash year 2020 slash January, or say October 2020, and then say week 1, then say Monday of week 1. You know, for those people, maybe you want to be creating backups. So on the Monday, you create a backup. On Tuesday of week 1, you create a backup. On Wednesday of week 1, you create a backup. So you want to create a subdirectory like this. So if you look at what we are doing here, we have created a folder. In this folder, I want to create another folder. In this folder, I want to create another folder. And in this folder, we are creating another folder again. So that is what we are simply doing. So when you do this, it does it for you. Yeah, so if we want to, it has run that command. So if we want to like do a listing, a recursive listing, when they say -r, so this command is list what you have in a particular directory, but -r means a recursive listing. So keep going until you exhaust all the paths. Do a recursive listing until you exhaust all of the paths. So this is going to be slash year 2020 and enter. So it's going to show all of the paths that we have created. Yeah, so we have year 2020, October 2020, week 1 slash Monday. Now, the next task we want to perform is that, remember, I created this CD. This afternoon, I created ls. I created this file, month.csv. I created this file, month.csv. Now I want to move this month.csv and I want to move it into this Monday. I want to move it into this folder, Monday, that we have here. Do you get? I want to move this file from my Linux environment. I want to move it into the Hadoop file system environment. I want to move it into to Hadoop file system. So how do I copy this file from this location, and I will paste it in this folder, in this Monday folder that I just created now on the Hadoop file system. So in order to be able to do that, the command is, again, remember, we always start with HDFS, DFS, then you now specify your command. So the command to copy, we want to copy from a local directory to a Hadoop file system directory. It's going to be copy from local, then we want to paste it at, what do we want to copy? Okay, sorry. So this is the command, HDFS, copy from local. What do we want to copy? What we want to copy is month.csv, month.csv. And where do we want to paste it? We want to paste it at slash year 2020 October 2020 week 1 slash okay week 1 no I wanted to intentionally make a mistake so that you can see, but just because of time /Monday. So what is this command doing? So this command is HDFS command to copy a file from a local location. And where is that location? That location is from this present location where we are, and the name of the file we want to copy is month.csv, and we want to paste it in this particular Hadoop directory that we just created, and you press enter.
Sorry, this month.csv is on your system. You want to move it into the directory year 2020, October 2020, weekly Monday.
On the Hadoop file system, yes.
Hadoop file. The Hadoop file, is it your local system?
You came late. You cannot be asking questions as if you have been here since 2. Okay, so it's a lot of story to be able to explain that.
We'll come back to it. I'll come back to it.
Okay. So it's a lot of story to be able to explain that to you. But I'll quickly do that. I'll quickly do that. So what have we done? Before you came in, a few things. We've done a few things. I'll quickly explain some of the things that we did. So the best explanation, I think I did it like maybe some 15 minutes ago. The same way, okay, look at, here's my computer, here's my Windows computer. This is my Windows computer now. On my Windows computer, say I'll close this, I'll go to a folder on my Windows computer. Here's a folder on my Windows computer, and I type CMD. I type CMD here. So no, it's not giving me what I want. So let me do this, and from this location, I type CMD. I type CMD. Okay, so I type CMD here. Now, if I do CD ... it takes me back. It goes back one directory. Yes. If I type CD ... it goes back one directory. If I type CD ... it goes back one directory. CD ... goes back one directory. CD ... goes back one directory. Now, if I type CD ... it does not go back again. Yes. Why it's not going back again is because I've gotten to the root directory. Fantastic. You know, if I go into the root directory, it's no longer going back. So this C drive is my root directory, at least for this particular partition. The same also exists in
HDFS is your root directory for this partition.
Hold on. So the way it is in Windows, the same way in Linux. So if I do my present working directory now, this is my present working directory in Linux. If I continue doing CD ... you see that the directory is changing. I keep doing CD, it keeps changing. But now it's not going to be changing again because I've gotten to the root directory. See this slash. Yeah, this is my root. So if I continue to do CD ... it does not change again because I'm at the root directory. The same way in Hadoop file system. In Hadoop file system, there's also a root directory. So so if I now do a listing, okay, so in Windows, if I want to do a listing of all the folders, I'll just do dir. So here is it. In Linux, I'll just do ls -l. If I do ls-l, this is the listing of all the files I have in my root directory. The same way in Hadoop, there's also this kind of directory hierarchy in Hadoop. So if I want to see the listing of the file system I have in Hadoop, the command is hdfs -dfs hdfs dfs, then then I will now do the listing of what I have in my root directory. This root directory is a Hadoop root directory, and these are the files and the folders I have in that root directory. You see them listed right away.
Okay.
It's taking, okay, so here is it. So on this root directory now, so these are the files listed on this root directory. On this root directory, I now created a folder called year 2020. Okay. In this year 2020, I now created October 2020, I now created week 1, I now created Monday inside this root directory.
I was there when you were making that.
Exactly. So I now move a file from my local Linux directory to the Hadoop file system directory that I created. That was when you came in.
Okay, so one question.
Yeah.
Command you use in moving that file. What if I use like I move that file to my desktop and use an FTP to put it into that directory?
FTP. Okay, so I don't. So if you want to see the list of all the directories that are available, there's a website. You can see all the list of all the commands. There's a website that has the list of all the commands that are available. File system, shell, file system, shell. So here you can see Hadoop file system. So you can see all the list of all the commands that are available. FTP, FTP. FTP is not among all those commands that are available. These are all the list of Hadoop file system commands that are available. FTP is not among them. Move from local, move to local, make directory, LSR, list, help, head, get merge, get.
But for my environment, I can FTP, I can FTP from one server to another server.
Yes, you can FTP from one server to another server, but you now use copy local to now copy it from that server to the Hadoop file system of that server.
Oh, okay. I think I'm mixing it up. So HDFS is a different file system.
It's a different file system. It's not another computer. It's a different file system. And that file system can exist on like 20 different computers at the same time. So you came late. Don't come late tomorrow.
Minus GS. Would that slash HDFS come out?
Say that again.
If you do the df minus gs command, would that slash HDFS come out?
Slash HDFS, no, it will not come out.
Okay, let's continue. Maybe I will take the question out of this class.
Okay, yeah, so you can have another private session with me.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so what we've just done, we've copied the file from a local directory to to a Hadoop file system. So let's see whether the file even exists. Let's see whether it exists there. So let's do a recursive listing of year 2020. So with a recursive listing of year 2020, let's see whether we have month.csv. Yeah, so now you can see month.csv now exists in Monday folder under week 1 on October 2020. So simply that is how to check whether the file was properly copied. Then you may also want to check the contents of that file. So if you want to check the content of this file, remember in Linux environment, what you use to check whether it's available is cat. The content of the file, cat. The same way in HDFS, if you want to check the content of that folder, it's just going to be cat, cat, then you copy all of these parts, copy and paste. Yeah, so with this, let's see the listing of the content of that file. Yeah, so So this is the content of the file in this Hadoop file system directory. You may also want to move the other way around. You may also want to move the same way you copied a file and a version of that file is still available where you copied it from. You may also move. So when you move it, it's cutting it away from that location and it's no longer going to be available. So that command is, instead of copy from local, it's move from local. So instead of having copy from local, if you want to move this mon.csv, for instance, say we want to move it away from my desktop. So I can say, so let's say I want to move it to October 2020 folder. So I can quickly do this. And I'll say, instead of having copy from local, it will be move from local. So it's just going to cut it away, move from local. So what this is going to do is going to move a file. It's going to move the file from the local file system, and it will put it in this location. But if I run this, it's going to throw an error. I need somebody to explain to me why this is going to throw an error. I'm running it now. It will generate an error. Why? Okay, so that is the error message. So the directory where I am, I'm on the root directory of my local computer. Because I'm on the root directory of my local computer, this file monk.csv does not exist on the root directory of my local computer. It's in independence folder of my root directory. So that is where I can find it. So that is why it came with an error message. So I can just do /home /hd user /desktop /independence. Now, if I do this, there will be no error message. Yeah, color is no longer in the class. Tope did not come today. Tope does not come on Saturdays. Okay, so it's simple. You may also want to copy the other way around. If you have some, so if you execute a program, please go on.
So in copying this mon.csv,
yeah,
isn't this is supposed to locate it, since the mon.csv is saved inside independence, which is inside the root file?
I don't understand your question.
Okay, so now the first command did not run because it did not locate mon.csv.
Yes.
So I'm asking, why is it that way? The independence is inside the root file as well.
So you need to specify it. You need to specify that part clearly. Sure, you understand. You need to specify it properly. So now, yes, independence is there, but if you say month.csv, where to be looking for month.csv on this root partition. It's on this root partition. It's on this root, even though this month.csv is not on the root partition. It's not exactly on the root partition. It's in another subdirectory that is on the root partition. So we also want you to specify explicitly the exact location of that file. Sure, you understand? So imagine if there's a mon.csv on independence and a mon.csv on desktop and mon.csv on user and mon.csv on home, for instance. So how if you have mon.csv, you need to also that independence. It's not the exact, to the file that you want it to copy. Sure, you understand. So, like, yeah, you need to specify. So, what I did here, when you run, he said that no such file exists. It does not exist in this root location. It does not exist in this root location. So, it threw that error message.
Okay, sir.
Is
Thank you.
it when you practice it more?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue. Yeah, I think we're almost also getting towards the end. So we just a few more
Sorry,
comments.
if I had cd'd to this /home/hd user/desktop/independence, and I do the MV.
Okay.
I do the MV, then /2020/October/star dot no /month/month.csv space dot. Would that work?
So if you say MV is not a command that is recognized by Hadoop. So that MV that you are making reference to is move. So
Yes.
it's move. If it was ordinary Linux environment, MV would work if you are moving a file from one location to another.
Okay.
Now, this particular part, this part that you are seeing does not exist on my Linux computer. So if you search through the whole of my Linux computer, you will not find anything like year 2020, except maybe the one I created yesterday. Okay, maybe I created week 1 today, this week 1 and Monday. If you search through the whole of my Linux computer, you will not find week 1, you will not find Monday in it because they don't exist there. So if you want to move to that location, it will not even find that part because it does not exist. But it exists in Hadoop file system. And Hadoop file system is a logical file system. It's not a physical file system. It's like a software application file system. So in order to be able to move it, there's a special command I need to run. It is not
one question. So this Hadoop file system is riding on Linux.
Yes. You can also write on Windows, but it is not a physical location.
Okay, it's virtual.
It's virtual, yes.
Okay, continue.
It's virtual, yes, it's virtual. That is the word. So look at this. You have a server. That server has 20 virtual machines, for instance. How do you move things from one particular virtual machine to the other virtual machine? Maybe you can use that FTP that you're talking about. But if you use your normal move command, say the virtual machines are on Linux, if you use your normal MV, you cannot move things from one particular virtual machine to another virtual machine. You can probably use FTP, because they are like maybe separate servers. You can use FTP to share things among them. But MV is not going to work. That is the same thing that is playing out here. Okay, finally, then I'll take your questions. Finally, but you need to try this. Even though it's working for me in the class, you still need to try it at home. It will not make complete sense until you have tried this until you've tried this by yourself. And next week, there's going to be another lecturer that will take over the class. I'm going to miss my class. Okay, so maybe that guy will be less technical than I, but it's a solid guy. He has taken this class like 3 or 4 times over. Like he has taken this particular curriculum like 3 or 4 times over. So he will be able to share his own experience too with you. Okay, so let's say we want to delete. Let's say we want to just remove some of the directories we have created today. If we want to remove some of the directories that we have created, let's say I want to remove, say, monday.txt from HDFS. I want to remove monday.txt from HDFS. What Trude is asking me to do is I'll just run rm command, then I'll now put the directory that I want to remove. rm, then I'll now copy the directory I want to move. I'll just do copy, then I will paste here. I'll paste here, and then I'll press. So okay, maybe month.csv. Maybe I want to remove this file .csv. So what Trude is asking me to do is that why not just run this command and press enter? But the computer is saying that it cannot remove this file because no such file exists. Yes, the file doesn't exist on the physical computer. The file exists on Hadoop file system. So if you want to remove it on Hadoop file system, how to remove it is, of course, hit this, then remove rm, then you paste. So
more like you're going to that logical file system first before you.
Exactly. So now with this, it goes to remove the file. And if you also want to remove the directory, the command is, so deletion completed, deletion interval happened within 0 minutes and is deleted. It has dropped it in a trash can, you know. Then if you also want to delete a directory, say you want to delete Monday directory, for instance, it's remove dir, rmdir. So we just
-F.
Pardon?
Not -F.
No, I'm not even using that. Yes, I'm not removing. I'm not doing a recursive removal. I'm just removing the last directory. This Monday alone is what I'm removing. So with this, it removes that Monday. It removes the Monday folder. Yeah, so that is done, and we can keep on keeping on that way. So if you want to remove, say, the whole of year 2020 folder, you can remove recursively rm -r. So it's going to remove the whole of year 2020 folder and everything that you have in year 2020. So with this, it removes everything. Yeah, as I said earlier on, if you want to find more so it has deleted it. If you want to find more Hadoop commands, this is the URL to go to, hadoop.apache.org/doc/current. So here you find all of these commands. And these commands are very simple. If you can master all of these commands, you are a Hadoop intermediate. If you are a Hadoop expert, if you can master all of these commands and know exactly when to use them at any point in time, you are a Hadoop expert. Or maybe I have to say intermediate. So you understand. So just a few commands. There are not more than 30. Just these 30 commands. If you can understand how to apply these 30 commands, you are an expert. And there is a manual, there's a description of how they can all be applied from this particular website. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming today. I am available to answer your questions. Although I have another session for 4 o'clock, but I'll be glad to take maybe 1 or 2 questions before we move on.
So this HDFS files, logical, how do you create a virtual? So if I want to create the HDFS now on my environment, how do I go about it?
Okay. So how do you install Hadoop on your computer, on your server? How do you install Hadoop on your server? That is on chapter number 37. That's on chapter number 37 of our data engineering textbook. So that is on chapter 37 of our data engineering textbook. Although this what we are doing is the data analytics part that we're actually doing, but this is also very necessary. This is basic. This is basic for data analytics class, but it's part of the data engineering curriculum for people that are doing the data engineering. So to set up a Hadoop cluster, what you're simply asking, how do I set up a Hadoop cluster? Maybe a 2-node Hadoop cluster or a 3-node Hadoop cluster. And maybe we need to have a master class on that, where we are going to bring everybody together to show how to set up a Hadoop cluster.
So it's a cluster, the way you have rack or rack.
It can be set up in a cluster. It can be set up in a cluster where you have a rack, and on that rack, maybe there are 4 or 5 computers in that cluster, and they are connected together in a logical way. So when you set up your Hadoop, so the way for you now is appearing as if maybe this logical file system is on a physical computer. You may not even know exactly where that logical file system, where it is. It may be on server number 4 or server number 5 within that rack.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, thank you so very much. Do have enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm still going to be very much around, even though there's another teacher, but I'm still very much around.
Thank you, blessing.
All right, Temilade, Ayola, Kola, Mary, and Petra.
Hi, blessing. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Have you eaten this afternoon? Are you still doing that your homework? Are you still doing that your homework? I will come and give you 2 strokes of the cane. I'm coming to give you 2 strokes of the cane this afternoon. That will make you do your homework very fast. I'm coming to give you 2 strokes of the cane. I told you to do your homework and you're still doing it. Okay.